Thanks for staying with us on this noon. Let's talk about Decision 2020. Here in Georgia, a statewide recount could start as soon as today. The official request from President Trump's legal team coming one day after the state certified its election results, showing President-elect Joe Biden won Georgia by just under 13,000 votes. Now, there will be a few differences in this recount this time around. Instead of a hand recount, this one will be done by machine. The Secretary of State's office says each county has been equipped with a high-speed scanner, so this will be a strict machine rescan of already validated ballots. That also means it won't take quite as long. The Secretary of State says it will take 4 days to complete the recount. Some counties can probably get it done in 2 days, but the larger counties may need a couple more. And assuming they take a break for Thanksgiving this week, we're looking at a completion date of sometime early next week. The state is extending some key emergency rules ahead of our Senate runoff races in January. Drop boxes will still be in place, and counties will start counting absentee ballots sooner. So let's go to Joe Ripley now, live at the state capitol. Joe, what factored into the board extending these rules?
So first, the board looked at the pandemic and how that led to an uptick in absentee ballots. In the general election, the State Board of Elections said they had 1.3 billion people vote absentee, and already for the January runoffs, they have 762,000 requests for absentee ballots. So already on pace to be a huge number of absentee ballots in this January runoff. The State Elections Board voted today to extend 2 key emergency rules. The first, keeping drop boxes in place for the January runoff. If you don't want to mail your absentee ballot, or if you want to avoid in-person contact, registered voters are able to drop their absentee ballots in secure boxes outside their county elections office or at other polling locations. The board also asked that video recordings at these drop boxes be kept 30 days after Election Day and made available to Secretary of State investigators and the public. The board also made it mandatory now for counties to start processing absentee ballots 1 week and 1 day before Election Day.
Without doing this early scanning, it would probably take weeks to get the amount of absentee ballots scanned. And there people were upset about the days that it took following the November election.
And to be clear, counties are able to open those absentee ballots and scan them, but they cannot tabulate or count them until after polls close at 7 on Election Day. Another note to note this afternoon, the State Board of Elections decided to actually address residency requirements as well as instructions on how counties should handle any challenges in eligible voters in an official election bulletin.
Right, and we have descriptions of that up on our Twitter feeds if you'd like to take a closer look. Thank you, Joe. The Secretary of State's office pushing back against a call from the governor to do a random audit of signatures in the presidential race. Elections official Gabriel Sterling says doing so could lead to chaos and a bad precedent for future elections.
We're working on a structure if we have to go down this path to see how we would do that. But right now, who pays for it? What is the structure? What are you trying to finally get to? Because we have no evidence, because like I said, the percentage of rejection rate is pretty much the same as we've seen historically. And that's with the addition of the cure period and the curability on these ballots now, so that there is an issue, you can come in with their voter ID and cure it. So we have essentially, there's no prima facie evidence that there's been an issue. And there's no specific evidence that anybody's brought to us that anybody has done anything wrong. And again, both parties had the opportunity to view this in real time when it was being done. Both of them made, I assume, a decision that they didn't need to do that.
Those comments being made in an update that he gave within the last 30 minutes. We have the whole thing if you'd like to watch it up online at 11alive.com.